안녕하세요. You're listening to 4 from On One podcast.
Welcome back to 4 from On One podcast, episode 53. We are still in 3 different countries. The weather is sort of the same, boys. I'm going to tell you soon. But how are you, Gio?
I'm great. Your weather's different.
Well, you would think so, but it's not. And Hokjun, how are you going up in Korea?
Well, it's great. Recent few days were chill.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great. It's great weather. It's getting to the winter time now.
Yeah, Gio, you said photos that's snowing in Chicago, yeah?
Yes, our first snow day was yesterday, and we have an 80% chance of it returning today. So be careful on the roads,
Oh.
everybody. Yeah.
Make a snowman yet?
Oh God, no, it's just flurries. But it just looks nice on the landscape. You know, when you wake up, you're like, look out the window. It's like a Hallmark moment. You're like, oh my goodness, it's snowing.
Yeah,
but it's gone after a few hours.
Looks like the American Christmas movies, like
Yeah.
like
Home Alone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We're like, Home Alone. Yeah. That house actually in the outskirts of Chicago. It's up north. I
think it's for sale
from here.
Well, it was for sale.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Was it?
The actual house of
when I
the,
went to
the
visit
movie?
it didn't look as big, obviously. Everything's bigger when you're a child, but
Yeah.
you see it for yourself, like, oh,
Yeah.
it's still a nice house. It's so beautiful, but it's up north. I believe in Evanston or just north of there.
It's a classic, the Home Alone movies. I
Yeah.
always watch the 1 and 2 every Christmas. The rest of them I don't watch. Has to have Macaulay Culkin ones.
What a shame. Okay.
Yeah. And Hokjun, any
Yeah.
snow in Korea yet?
I think in Gangwon area they have the first snowing of this winter season, like a week ago. Not yet in Seoul, and not yet always in Busan.
Yeah, as we're recording, it's mid-November.
Mhm.
See what I'm wearing? It's freaking cold in Australia right now.
Really?
We had
Why?
it's snowing in parts of Australia right today in
Really?
mid-November, which is very rare, very rare. Even in the mountains, very rare. And I'm wearing a sweater. It was like 12 degrees to 16 degrees all day today, which is cold. I went running, and normally I go for a swim after my run. I did not go for a swim today.
Sure.
Too bloody. Yeah.
Too cold.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty chilly.
And think about it, 16 degrees in Korea would be like, oh, that's nice, that's beautiful in wintertime, yeah. Like, but here it's freezing. It's funny, and that's sort of what goes on to what we're about to talk today is unique customs and unofficial rules and things that are special. Like in Australia, like I say, 16 degrees, we think that's freezing. We start getting sweaters, putting on our campfires. Not campfires, what do you call them? Chimneys.
Oh, okay.
Fireplace.
Yeah. Yeah.
For 16 degrees, even 12 degrees, we start getting cold in Korea in wintertime. That's summertime. Winter.
Yeah, that's summer.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about, some unique unofficial rules and customs and things. Where should we start, Joe? What's the best one you got? Workplace, family? What do you want to start with?
I mean, we can start with work or school.
Yeah,
family's always important. The holidays are coming up, so it's fine. We can start with that. We got a little bit of each today. So I'm really looking forward to this episode. Let me start with this. I actually want to start with a little bit of slang because we're all getting older, and now that I'm home, I'm hearing words that I've just never heard before. Like all these things that these kids are saying.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. Either one of you can answer this. What would you think when you think of the word vanilla? If something is vanilla, kids are using this nowadays. I like my first thought is ice cream.
White
Vanilla.
person?
Okay.
I know what vanilla means. So
what is it?
Okay, tell everybody. Yeah, tell us.
Well, vanilla is like a person who don't have any reference for their love, right?
Oh, vanilla. Another vanilla, I know. Like someone that's
vanilla ice.
No, like it doesn't have crazy thoughts. It thinks like a sheep, like follows the herd.
Kind of, yeah.
It's very,
something is
vanilla,
very basic, boring, plain.
Yeah.
That's what vanilla means. Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, I knew that.
Yeah, pretty cool. That's just something.
I thought it was something cooler than that.
Cool? No. What if something's dripping? If it's dripping,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
Dripping.
Dripping?
Yeah.
Like
Dripping.
hot. It's awesome.
Yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Trendy.
Full of juice.
Drip,
yeah. Full of juices. Yeah.
Cool. All right. Enough of that nonsense. Let's jump into school. So here in the US, we have 3 different school systems, right? We've got elementary school, which is typically kindergarten to 6th grade. And then there's middle school. Now this, depending on which state you live, sometimes it's a 2-year institution, like 7th and 8th grade, or sometimes it's 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
Yeah.
I never went to one of those schools. And then the last one is high school, 4 years, 9, 10, 11, 12, freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, which is the same in college or university. It's another 4 years. Unless you want to be a doctor, then it's 7 or more years. But yeah, I went to a preschool as well. I'm sorry, there's pre-K if you decide to enroll in that. I did. I went to a Catholic school when I was about 4 years old. So our teacher was like a nun, and everybody, the priests and all the other teachers were nuns and fathers and priests, and we had to go to mass every morning before classes. And I remember just sitting in the pew and then having to get up and bending down and pray, and then getting up again, saying some prayers, and bending down and praying. So enough of that, I thought, after the first year. So we just went to public school after that. But I went to Arizona State, Arizona State University, where my major was in English literature. First freshman year was leadership and international management. I was going to get into business, like international business, travel. I was going to study abroad in Monterrey, Mexico for a semester, but I didn't have a great GPA. So I was like, nah, forget about it. I've always liked reading. I've always liked literature. So after I made the transition, it was just like home, sweet home for me. And then I met a lot of foreign international students there, and I realized I could teach English abroad because I was still unsure of what I was doing with my life. And another thing that's in our school academies, in our universities, is Greek life, fraternities, sororities. So I actually went out to one of these like multicultural events, kind of see all the different groups. You had like the ones that have been around for like hundreds of years, some ones that are more recent. So I decided to join a Latin fraternity. It was the first Latino fraternity in the US. It was founded December 1st, 1975 in Union, New Jersey. And met a lot of great friends, a lot of connections. And there's even like some, go ahead.
Did you have to do like to get into the group, did you have to do something special?
See, I thought like that was the case with like Animal House and stuff, but it was like nothing like that. There's like no hazing because our university had like strict like hazing policy. Because if you didn't know, like ASU like 20, 30 years ago was like a big party school, like a big party house. And when a new president took over, he was very conservative. So he shut down all the fraternity houses, made it a dry campus.
Wow.
And things that did happen to other students or other victims of hazing, they were kind of shut down and put on probation. So it was kind of very strict. Oh, it was still a lot of fun, but nothing crazy like that. I didn't have to like streak in the neighborhood and like nothing crazy. It was more like academic fraternity and like kind of like volunteering, going to like women's shelters, handing out food, helping the homeless, things like that. A lot of community service hours. So yeah, it was really good stuff. What about you guys? How was your school life?
Mine's not different. Australia, most people go to 2 schools. So we have elementary school, and then we have high school, and then we have preschool. So we have 3 different schools, but we don't do the mid school like both of you guys do. We just go kindergarten. So kindergarten's about ages about 5 to 12, like this sort of age group.
Okay, yeah.
And then from 12 or maybe even 11, 12, that sort of age group to 18, we go to high school. So that's a little bit different. And then one thing I always remember, I really enjoyed elementary school. I really enjoyed my primary school.
You would.
Like all the sporting groups, and we used to do athletic track meets and swimming meets, and you used to sing songs and all that sort of stuff.
And it's fun.
The unique, I don't know if it's unique, but it's definitely different. We used to always have to, the teacher walks in and says, good morning. We always had to say, good morning, Mrs. or Mr. or Miss. So you had to work out whether they were married, not married, boy or girl. So it was always interesting. But teacher, are you Mrs. or Miss? Like,
you just assume my gender.
They're probably, the PC world we live in now, they probably stopped that. Like, there's probably some other word.
They probably did.
Yeah.
Teacher walks in day one, like, these are my pronouns, this and this. Like, okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And Hokjun,
continue.
Hokjun, tell us some interesting school things in Korea. I think you guys got a lot of interesting stuff.
Korea. So basically Korea have something like a US school system. Like we have like kindergarten or the preschool until like 7. And when you turn 8, the public school starting up, the 6 years of elementary school, 3 years of middle school, 3 years of high school. And what very interesting thing is that I don't know if this is changed, but when I was in my high school, like until the first year of the high school is the mandatory education from government. So then what will be the like third,
electives?
like second and third? Yeah, that's kind of interesting. But we have this 633 year, so total of 12 years of public school system. And we have few private schools now, but back then it was like only a handful in a city or something. Yeah.
We've talked about it plenty of times. There's hagwons everywhere. Yeah, all top.
Okay. Hagwons everywhere. Yes.
What are you trying to say?
That's very crazy.
Yeah, and then let's get. Go.
Well, personally, I didn't really go to Hagwon, so there's not
You're
much
the lucky
for
ones.
me.
Yeah, you were the 1%. Yeah.
I just saw you got your beer, Hokjun. I was going to say this. The World Cup starts this weekend. All our countries are in the World Cup.
Surprisingly for me,
South Korea. You guys excited? How's Korea going with the Korean? Is he going to play?
He is going to play.
It's just a head injury.
Sony.
His eye or something like that.
Well, he got the fracture in the like under eye bone kind of here.
Yeah.
And then he got this cool looking like badass mask he have.
Like
it looks like it looks like a Batman one.
I think Australia, we're going to do very bad. We got a really tough group. We're going to struggle. We've got a lot of youngsters. But the unique thing, I saw Hokjun drinking his beers. I saw someone on Twitter. Twitter, he got every country's beer that's in the World Cup. He got one of each from around the world. And the interesting ones was the Arab countries. Obviously, they don't drink. Theirs is non-alcoholic. But it's quite cool how all the different beers he got from around the world. Coopers he got from Australia. I didn't see what he got from Korea, but maybe Cass.
Must be Cass.
And from America, he got Miller Cool or something like that.
Yeah. Big Milwaukee beer. Big Milwaukee beer.
So going on the drinking theme, the drinking rules, the unofficial drinking rules in Australia, the worst thing, and I've already got caught in this coming back to Australia, is getting caught in rounds. So rounds is someone buys a round of drinks for everyone at the table, even people you don't know. It's just tradition that you buy everyone at the table a round of drinks, and then they buy a round of drinks, and then buy a drink. Even random people you don't. What do you want to drink? And if it's all beer, that makes it a little bit easy. But then you get some cheeky buggers that ask for whiskey and coke, which is like double the price. Or me as a tight ass. You got some girls that want mixed drinks or cocktails.
I'm gonna get you.
So if you come to Australia and someone buys you a round, it's an unofficial rule that you're gonna have to buy them a round too. So that's a custom here in Australia.
Oh, wow.
And also with the mates is we don't say names. We all have nicknames. So no one's just Keith. I was always Keithy, all this. So don't be surprised you get a nickname.
I hope it'd be like
the only time you get called your real name is when you're in trouble. So
when you're Keith Breed.
So it's always Maddie or so just get ready to get a nickname. Even I give the Korean kids nicknames and they hated it, but I was like, you got to have a nickname. I can't call you a real name.
That's pretty unique. That's pretty cool.
What about,
good to
do you
know.
That's very
any drinking rules or friend rules with your friends?
I mean, sometimes you can kind of get creative. Obviously, you know, the US has a very strict drinking age, 21 years old.
Yeah.
But I know my buddies and I in college, every time, you know, we were broke college kids and we didn't really have much money, kind of like now. Not much has changed.
cool.
But if we were to go out to breweries, we would just kind of like rack up the bill, and then we would just kind of play credit card roulette. So we
Yeah.
all just dropped our credit cards, as basic as that is, have them
I've seen
select.
that on TV shows.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we're just like
Oh,
checking
yeah,
our bank
yeah.
accounts, like, do we have enough money in my account? Am I gonna get declined? And we wait, we do the little drum roll when it comes back and they open it, like, oh Jesus, like it's me this time, you know. But I was never selected for that, so I was always
Oh,
smart.
really?
Oh yeah, I never
Wow.
got selected. Yeah.
You have to do the sly
That's
one
great.
where they do it. I think it's like one of those sly guys. They put it in the hat and then they slowly pull it out.
Oh yeah,
so
like,
they get busted.
no, but it's the anticipation anxiety. But I haven't played it since. I can afford it now, but I've never played it since.
And what about in Korea, Hokjun? What's some unofficial rules with your friends going out, drinking, any sort of rules?
They got a beautiful drinking culture in Korea. I love it.
Yeah.
Couldn't get enough.
Yeah, we got a lot of rules for drinking, and I think it's everybody knows now that like we have this kind of rule that if you're drinking with the elder people, the people who is older than you, then like you gotta pour them first, fill up their glasses first, and then when they are pouring the liquor to me, then I politely use my both hand to take it, and then I should go left. This is very confusing for everybody. Like they just know how to turn, but we are using our right hand. So turning on the left side is to cover your mouth to be seen while you're drinking. Yeah. So turn left and then drink. If there is a like second old person is sitting left side of me, then I should go put my left hand and then go right. This is showing the respect. Yeah.
Right.
And you will need to do this if you ever go. I'm about to talk about soon Huishik. You will go out with your work colleagues, your assistant teachers, your bosses, and they follow these rules. So you need to sort of be respectful and follow some of these rules. Obviously, they'll be okay that you don't know all the rules, but they're going to teach you the rules. They're going to say you need to do this, you need to do that. So if you are going to work in Korea as a teacher or any job, you will go on Huishiks, which we'll talk about in a moment. And you're going to have to, you don't have to, but it's respectful to try to follow the rules. Traditional rules. Even with grandparents, I'm sure, Gia, yes, you might have to do that with your in-laws. Some of these rules,
Don't I ever? I'll never forget. It was about 3 years ago when we were visiting at the time. We had just gotten married here. We had Sophie a couple months later, and then we went back to Korea to visit for 2 months. It's like right around Easter time and wedding time as well. So one of her cousins was getting married. So we go to the wedding, you know, watch for like 30 minutes, go to the big buffet hall. And as we're sitting with all her family members, all the uncles, all her, you know, her dad's side of the family, they just kept like look at me, like kept tapping me like refill. I'm like, okay, fine.
Oh,
really eating, tapping me, refill. I'm like, what is it? What do you want? Tap, refill. I still like, does anybody want a refill? Does anybody want a refill? I want to sit down and start eating. You here, you get 2. Here, take my glass. They're just expecting me, you know, they're expecting me. Hey, you pour it for me.
Oh yeah.
Like, pour it yourself. Just take the right over the bottle. Take the bottle yourself. I learned the hard way.
Never does that. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Now that's why we're drinking. We got to pay for this. And what I came up with in Australia, which we'll get to America soon. In Australia, tipping's not mandatory, but when you go to the bar, usually if something's like $12.20, you say keep the change. So a lot of people just keep the change, or you get all these coins and you just put it in the coin jar. It's always a good tactic to try to get, because in Australia we've got very strict drinking laws, so usually it's like 1 shot of whiskey. So if you want them to make a very good shot of whiskey, you might want to give them a bit of a tip and try to get that little extra in that shot and like
squeeze it out of them.
And also,
Yeah.
sometimes bars are really, really busy, and they can pick and choose who they're going to serve next. So if you give them, you give them a bit of a tip, they're going to look at you and give you a drink earlier than other people. So even though it's not mandatory, it's still part of the culture to tip when you go to bars. Not tip, but just keep the change, or
Sure. Yeah.
something like
Yeah,
this.
Makes sense.
And I've lived in Canada. And Canada was very stressful doing tipping, and then paying the bill plus taxes, and then getting a group of people to pay the bill, because some people want to pay 10% tip, some people want to pay 15% tip, some people Aussies don't pay any tip. Paying the bill, like, and especially when they don't split the bill, was a pain in the ass. Excuse the language, but pain in the butt. Sometimes it took us an hour to get through to.
Well, yeah, especially if like a large party, someone's like, I only had a Diet Coke and fries. I'm not going to be putting in my, portion. It's like saying you have a $20 bill and there's 7 people. All right, 30 you, 30, 30, 30. And they're like, well, I only had this. It's nuts. So as much as it is like crazy, I always make sure if I'm with a large group of people, I always say, split bill for me. Like, I want my own check. Like, everybody else can figure it out, just me. Because I always pay
your own bill.
Sorry, I always pay my own bill. Excuse me. I meant to say I always tip 20%. Always 20%.
Wow.
Oh, you're generous.
I'm very generous. I take it from my father. We both have hearts of gold, because you have to realize, like, in the US, they're not paid on salary. They're getting like $2-3 an hour. Like, that's their living. That's how they pay rent. That's how they pay for their whatever the hell they need, all their amenities. If they have children. So especially if the place is packed, you can see they're kind of struggling. They're all over the place. As long as I'm getting the service I need. I used to be like really picky about this. Like, oh, you didn't fill my water in like 3 minutes. I was kind of anal like that. But now, coming to Korea, knowing that I don't really have to tip as much as I used to, even though I know how to tip, I always just give 20%. Because I see how spoiled like people are here. Like, I'm not eating this. Take it back and take it off my check. Like, Americans can be dicks about it. They're like on their mighty thrones, kind of. Yeah. So it's kind of reality check. Yeah.
In some ways, it is a good custom, because in Australia, you'll come to Australia and then you get waiters that don't try, because they get paid the $25 an hour and all this stuff, $20 an hour, or bar people that get paid like $30-$40 an hour at night time.
Yeah.
So they don't need to give good hospitality, unless the boss watches them. They don't have to do that, because they're going to pay a good hourly wage. So,
good money.
Yeah. But what about in Korea, Hokjun, with tipping? What's sort of the general rule?
So basically, Korea doesn't have a tipping culture, but some of the like fancy restaurants, not like westernized fancy restaurant, but like Korean style fancy restaurant, the like we call it 한정식. Some places like that, the what do you call it? Head of the table, the someone who pays for the table, or those people will give the ajumma tip for I hope that you gonna taking good care of my table because I'm paying for this. So like they pay like 5만 원, or like I think it's 5만 원 now. So $50.
Ooh, baller.
Yeah. So those kind of tip culture is happening in here in Korea, but tipping is not really a thing in Korea.
I think Korea, what I think I just kept the same custom I have in Australia. Like if a taxi was $9, I say give them a 10,000 won, and just keep the change or something like this. And then if you go to Itaewon, which we have talked about, you get a lot of foreigners actually working in these bars, and they do have their tip jars out, and some of them are
like this is Korea, I don't tip.
Student. Again, if you want to get good service or get someone to look at you, because sometimes even at Route 66, sometimes getting served took a while. So
my general rule is if I order a beer or any drink, it's $1 on top of that. That's what I do.
Let's talk quickly. We've talked about it many times, but just quickly, Hokjun, one key rule or unofficial rule is, which you got trapped with last week. 회식. What's 회식?
So 회식 is a company dinner. So it's a lot of time is a mandatory kind of thing.
Yeah.
But right now it's not not a mandatory thing, but still, I think it feels like you have to go there kind of feeling, like like everybody's
Kind of
going, the
compelled. You kind of just
like
get suckered
like
into it.
like the head of the head of department, or like some higher people like calling out for the dinner, so I just feel like obligated to go there. Well, one good thing is that they will pay for it, so I don't mind to pour them drink. Like, you want a refill? Yeah, infinite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I actually enjoy 회식, but now the MZ generation, they don't really like the 회식, the mandatory thing. So it's getting fewer and fewer, I think.
Yeah, it depends on your
Changing the
colleagues.
workforce.
Yeah. Because you're stuck there 9.5 hours already, and then everyone's getting sick of each other, like especially at school. And most of the Huishiks I had to do, this was after going to school on a Saturday to do open house. Then they're like, oh, so Saturday, our free day, and then they go, let's do a Huishik, like lunch after the open house. It's just killing our weekend. But sometimes it was good fun, and meeting the assistant teachers away from school was always fun, and doing some karaoke and stuff like that. What about family? Do you guys have any unofficial rules with your families? For us, if you don't cook, you clean the dishes. Any rules in your family?
I do. I'll start off. We actually at home split the chores. Since Gianna was born, we decided, and I'm on my paternity leave, I take more responsibility at home. So we actually made a schedule for me, our chore chart, if you will. So certain days we'll take turns cooking, take turns doing the dishes. I always take up the trash and recycling every Wednesday. We talked about the frustration that I go through to sort 10 different bins. And that's just kind of how we help each other out. The home is nice and clean, and we do our parts raising both of our kids.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
What about you, Hokjun, growing up? Did you have any rules within your family, or a common rule amongst Korean families?
Yeah, so I'm the one who ruined the Korean traditional rules, because I'm like I was really interested in to watch how the food is making, how my mom and my grandma prep the ingredients, and then how they making the food. That was very, very interesting for me at that time. But my grandma, she's from the early 20th centuries, right?
Okay.
So on her period, the man should not go into the kitchen, and actually kitchen was in the traditional Korean houses. The kitchen is actually another building. It's not attached to the living area of the house. It is,
that's different.
Another building there. So it is kind of like forbidden place for the man. So my grandma really don't love me, like sitting on the kitchen table and then watch my mom cooking and watch my grandma cooking. But I love that. So naturally I want to try cooking. So I kind of ruin the traditional thing in my house.
Yeah. And then Gia, I know next week, maybe we'll ruin our schedule next week. Next week, some unofficial, or not unofficial, the official holidays, special, different holidays in our countries. Australia, I couldn't really think of many, but Gia, you got a very important one next week. Your favorite one, I think you said.
My favorite one, Thanksgiving Day.
Oh, Thanksgiving.
Yes, next Thursday is the last Thursday of every November. And it's similar to Chuseok, where it's like a big harvest in the fall. It was originally celebrated when the early Puritans came to the Americas, celebrated with the Native Americans at the time.
At least you know what it is.
Happened after that. That's what we do. We get together, we cook turkeys, depending on, again, there's many different cultures here. Some do tamales, the Mexican families, and other families will have their own certain dishes. But traditionally us, we'll have a big turkey, we'll have the vegetables, we'll have the stuffing, and if you just Google Thanksgiving, you just look at the table, it's just filled with food. Family gathers around the table. There's no real seating order. I would prefer like have my parents on each side since they're the head of the households, and the siblings, everybody across the middle. And then we just go around the table, explaining what we're thankful for. We used to say prayers, but we all kind of fell out of religion. Well, my brothers and I. But yeah, we just say what we're thankful for, and then we eat. We sleep right afterward because it's that thing in the turkey that gets you kind of drowsy. And then we'll watch some football.
Nice.
American football. Yeah.
Oh,
We
really?
have done it.
That's great.
We have done a special holidays in Korea podcast. Go back way back into our archives.
Season 1.
Yeah, season 1.
Yeah.
I think, and Hokjun, you guys got many holidays. You got Pepero holiday. What's your favorite
Day.
holiday?
Oh, I missed Pepero Day. That was a few days ago.
White Day, Black Day. What's your favorite day?
My birthday.
That's not a holiday.
Yeah. Well, my favorite is actually Seollal, the Korean lunar calendar New Year.
Yeah.
That's a nice one.
It is right, in the middle of winter time, and I love winter, and I also really love that, that vibe that all the people are wearing hanbok, and then they're trying to visit their closest families and then cousins. This is great. And then you get to, so I am living in another city from Daegu, which is my hometown. So in the Seollal era, like I go to my family in Daegu, and then I get to see my friends, right? So so the Seollal is very great for me.
Yeah.
That's
in Australia,
I like that time of year.
Ours is similar to America, but the one difference to Korea is we have Father's and Mother's Day separate. We don't have Parents' Day, and we don't have Children's Day. So that's something different. I couldn't really think
Every
of any
day is
special
Children's Day. Every day is Children's Day.
I guess the only other difference to America, we are still part of the Commonwealth, so we have Queen's birthday, King's birthday. I guess it's going to be now. Nothing really special. Then the last one, boys. I don't know if you got some, but some silly sayings, or you started it off, Joe, and you sort of went off. Some weird things that we say here in Australia. We say yeah nah a lot. Yeah nah.
Don't know what the hell that means.
Yeah nah yeah.
We say but a lot. We always end sentences with but. And
but.
And the interesting one is my one that I always tell people, or girls on dates, is my favorite Korean word is chinja. Chinja.
Chinja?
Chinja. And in Germany,
really?
it was my favorite word in Germany. It's a similar word, doc. And this word sort of means like really, really.
Doc.
Did you really do that? Yeah.
Doc?
Doc.
No, my favorite Korean word or expression is jajingna. Oh, jajingna. That's my favorite one. Jajingna. I love saying like jajingna. Yeah.
But chinja in Australia, in old school Australian, is fair dinkum. Fair dinkum. This means chinja. Yeah. So if Gio said he went skydiving day, I could go fair dinkum. You really did that? Or Hokjun says he ate snake. Oh, fair dinkum. Oh, really?
Yeah, no, we covered some slang. Do you guys know what a buck is? A buck?
Buck?
Yeah.
$1.
Yeah, $1.
Yeah.
Can I borrow a buck? Can I borrow $2?
Yeah.
If somebody, I'm sure it's the same in Australia. If somebody says, "Hey, can I ride shotgun?"
Yeah, shotgun.
Yeah. You know what that is, shotgun. Yeah. Not. Oh, I know it's America for guns, but
the
passenger.
The front
passenger seat.
The front passenger seat. Yeah,
that's right. Yep.
He's very cultured.
He knows what's up.
All right. Anything else left, boys? I ran out of ideas. Any other stuff that you guys wanted to mention?
No, I think we shared a lot of good insight from our respective countries.
Yeah.
So I think it's okay to wrap it up here if you guys agree.
Go for it.
Everybody, thanks for listening. Be sure to follow us on our social media platforms, Facebook, Linktree, and Instagram. Head over to our YouTube channel where we post our weekly videos. Subscribe, give us a few likes, go back to season 1 and just like us across the board. And then head over to our website, sign up to our mailing list so you'll know when each new episode is released. And we look forward to seeing you all next week. Sound good, you guys?
Good.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
All right. Take care. Goodbye, everybody.
Right. Goodbye, everybody.